On a late Friday morning in August, in the quiet neighborhood of Butler Township, Ohio, just 10 miles north of Dayton, a man sat in his home recording a Facebook video that presented the nonsensical rantings of a rather deranged individual. His thoughts aren't private. They've been attacking him and his family, using mind control, like ventriloquists. His friends and loved ones, his nieces and nephews will understand. Then, this man, who claimed in his video that he would not be the victim of some mental disorder that does not exist, did the unthinkable. Allegedly. He has yet to have his day in court, after all. This is Mad Marlowe of Butler Township.
So Mom, Dad, Kevin, Carrie, Brendan.
I can't believe that you murdered him.
It would have been one of the last weekends.
Police arrived in the 7200 block of Hardwick Place after 911 calls for gunshots heard in the area were reported. It was just before noon when they walked in a home and found the bodies of 82-year-old Clyde and 78-year-old Eva Knox. The older couple had most recently celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. In a nearby home, the crime scene was just as gruesome. 41-year-old Sarah Anderson and her 15-year-old daughter Kayla were found in a similar fashion. All 4 victims had been killed by gunshots, execution style, and the police's person of interest was a neighbor. Execution, it turns out, is not a very neighborly act, and Mr. Stephen Alexander Marlowe, it would seem, was not a good neighbor. He was, after all, the targeted individual who was simply carrying out an execution to save himself and his family and all the other TIs from telepathy attacks. You'll understand.
I've tolerated the most inhumane torture in hopes that the FBI and CIA would come to my defense, but they have failed to come to my aid. My only hope is that you come to understand what has happened here. When the world realizes what has happened, there will be justice, but I cannot sit by and be a victim any longer, and I refuse to sit by and do nothing while my nieces and nephews and the rest of my family are operated on with mind control. I will be launching the first counterattack against mind control in human history. I want to be very clear, this will not be an active shooting event. I will be executing some of the people responsible for activating shooters. If I happen to survive, please visit me in prison, if only to see the same man you have always known, rather than the victim of some mental disorder that does not exist. What you may not understand is that I will gladly die to expose this, and I will gladly die to help one other victim discover the truth of what has happened. To any TIs who read this, understand that your attackers use the form of ventriloquism I describe in the paper to move your thoughts, but your thoughts can also move their mouths. Get this out to other TIs, other voice hearers, so the world has a chance to fight back. To my family, especially my nieces and nephews, I want you to understand that what I do here, I do for your future, and hope that you can live a life free of mind control.
Then Marlowe fled the quiet neighborhood with the ghastly crime scenes in a 2007 Ford Edge SUV, leading to an immediate interstate manhunt involving local police, the FBI, and the ATF. Law enforcement suspected that Marlowe had headed west on I-70 and announced to the public to keep their eyes out. Marlowe was finally located Saturday evening over 600 miles away in Lawrence, Kansas. He was arrested by Lawrence police that evening on several counts of murder, burglary, and possessing a non-permitted firearm. Marlowe will be returning to Ohio to face the consequences of his alleged actions. Upon his return to Miami Valley, he'll face the loved ones of his victims and the sleepy community he's terrorized and jolted awake. Yes, Marlowe will have his day in court, and Absolutely Criminal will be there for it.